psychotherapy, and energy work. She began in advocacy, working with Native American youth in the public school system and with domestic abuse and sexual violence survivors in the court system. Sarah's path was a bit more scenic. At 16, she wrote articles for Indian Country Today, then fell in love with marketing and advertising at an Indian casino outside San Diego. And then Tankashila called her to work as an advocate at the Episcopal Church, which would take her around the world. And then she landed in philanthropy. Sarah discovered she was meant to help heal too. Through Sarah's journey of advocacy and cultural education, she healed through narrative as a macro visionary. Emma healed on a micro level, assisting tribal members in grassroots communities. We discovered that leadership is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and that the old tenets of a single vision job approach were not working for our people. In fact, this Western approach is stifling our people and our ability to flourish. It did not connect all of the issues or the solutions, and it definitely did not take into account our holistic worldview. The age-old approach of defining a person by a single job for their entire lives thrives in systems that benefit by keeping the status quo. Through working with many tribal communities, we know there are many perspectives. There are always two sides to a story, and we invite you to see these stories through our eyes. We can only claim and share our own perspectives, which are grounded in the Lakota worldview. We learned from our grandmothers, our aunties, and uncles who raised us. We have been fortunate to have many spiritual leaders and extended family in our lives who taught us to understand how the Creator works with and through us. We have also read many self-help books and have gratitude for those who have come before us. We believe it's time to write a self-help book from an Indigenous feminine perspective. We understand there is a paradox of suffering and enlightenment. We decided to share our stories because we know we are not alone in these experiences. These are not the stories of the perfect Lakota women, as we've been stereotypically portrayed or raised to emulate. Some may not approve that we are telling our stories of heartbreak, shame, triumph, and everything in between. In fact, some of these stories are even considered taboo to talk about in tribal communities. We will share them anyway because we want those who are struggling to know they are not alone. We will lay bare our own individual and family pains. We will share our experiences of lateral violence, but we will also share our vision for the future, which is entrenched in collectivism. We don't tell these uncomfortable stories to shame anyone, but to shed a healing light on humanity from a contemporary Indigenous feminine lens. Everything happens for a reason. Everyone is on a journey of learning and healing in their lifetime. Everyone has a role to play, and not only their individual understanding, but also that of others. You must only take a step backward and attempt to see another's perspective from your heart. We know our lived experiences are almost never heard in the mainstream discourse of issues that affect so many women. Violence, lack of knowledge of reproductive rights, racism, sexism, alcoholism, drug abuse, identity struggles, spirituality crises, suicide, trauma, leadership struggles, lack of storytelling opportunities, and climate change. We knew we had to ensure that the first-hand perspectives of Indigenous women brought up in these underprivileged circumstances would be heard. Also, we use we a lot in this book. It is not the royal we, but the collective we. We use it to refer to ourselves as twins, to our tribal collective perspective as Ogallala Lakota, and to all of us in this world.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.